Hello everyone,
Good luck, mate.
and welcome back to a brand new video. And today, as you can see by the title, we are here for round number 3 of the F1 Esports Challenges here in Zandvoort. If you didn't see my other video, my last video on the F1 Esports Challenges, it was on China and Vietnam for round 1 and 2, and you may or may not have seen where we finished P4 in the first race in Vietnam, and then we unfortunately DNF'd in China after not choosing my setup. So, going into this round then, we are 7th in the championship. I'll put the standings up on the screen so you can see. Alessio Di Capo leading the way then with 35 points. Ate Korpinen right behind him, and then Sven Zerner in 3rd. I can confirm Sven Zerner is not racing this evening, so we have a chance to make up some ground on the guys ahead of us. We do only need top 6, just to remind you. But of course, we want to be up there fighting for the win every single race. So, finishing our first lap of Zandvoort then. To be honest, just like Vietnam, it was quite tricky to find the pace that I showed in practice. As you see there, we do an 8.1, which I promise I have not done a lap in the 8s
I'll take that for a banker, Josh.
since, well, oh my god, it's a mess out there. As I say, there is a
Couple of
mess.
little oversteer moments, mate, but honestly, that's a decent delta to have for the rest of the session.
I'll smash that. But yeah, as I say that, I'll smash that. I haven't done 8.1 since maybe I started practicing about a week ago. So yeah, it's strange because like literally not even 10-15 minutes before this, I was in a practice session and I did a 7.7 banker, and I was feeling really confident, and I just come into this and everything feels a bit different. I'm sure some of that is nerves, but I think some of it has to do with force feedback and stuff like that, weather conditions maybe. But yeah, P5 then for now, but of course we're gonna improve on that. So coming towards the end of our second run then, as you can see, we're just about over a 10th up, but we still only do a 7.9. And at this point I was feeling kind of nervous. I was wondering what's happening to all my pace. Going off practice, this lap should have been a 7.6. But for it to be a 7.9, I was just thinking, what's going on? Why am I so slow? And for those wondering, by the way, my PB was a 7.4, a high 7.4. I wasn't expecting to do that, obviously, in the actual session, but I was expecting to get somewhere close, maybe a low mid.5. But yeah, by the looks of it, we're not even going to get anywhere near it. It must be nerves. I can't think of, apart from my force feedback feeling kind of weak, there's not really any excuse. I was just slow. But yeah, let's see what we can do on our third run. So skipping to the end of our third run then, and as you can see, we've gained even more time, and we cross the line to do a 1 minute 7.792. Only 12 thousandths
Solid lap, mate. All turn 2.
off of pole.
Yeah.
In the back,
And
mate,
there's,
honestly.
my
I've got this.
engineer says there we made a mistake at turn 2, which is pretty much where we lost loads of time. But yeah, I was still wondering at this point, third lap, and we've done a 0.792, which was, slower than my banker in my practice session just before the race. But crucially, we're still up there positions-wise. We're in P2 right now, so not too much to complain about. Even though I was feeling, not 100% with my pace and confidence, we were still getting the job done. So now we have one more lap, one more run to see what we can do. So taking you on board with a full lap of my fastest and final lap. We were supposed to do 2 runs, or have enough time, but just like Vietnam, we actually ran out of time, so we only get to do 1 run. But anyway, turn 1 then braking just after the shadow into 3rd gear, as close to the inside curb as possible, short shift up to 4th, and use all the curb on the exit. Going into turn 2, stay as close to that inside curb as possible, 5th gear, and then the quick banked left-hander, 3rd gear, and once again, short shift up to 4th. And as you can see on the delta, we've gained all the time that we lost from that mistake on our previous lap. Coming into the fast downhill right-hander, just after the brake meter board, stay as close as inside curb as possible in center gear, use all the X curb, and come into sector 2. Just after the 50 meter board, turn in, avoid that curb on the right, use all this curb on the exit, and then third gear. And we missed the apex slightly there, that's going to cost us some time. Into this left-hander, make sure not to run too wide, and make sure not to lose the car on the exit. And we take that pretty nicely, but overall that sector 2 was quite poor, to be honest. But into sector 3 then, braking on the curb, third gear, take as much curb as possible, and into the left-hander, stay as close to the left-hand side of the curb as you can. Coming into the final corner, just after the 50 meter board, down to 5th gear, stay as close to that inside curb, and then make sure not to run out wide, and invalidate your lap right at the end of the lap. Stay all the way to the right to minimise the distance to the line, and we come across the line to do a 1 minute 7.690. Wow, that was quite hard to do, not going to lie. But anyway, we take pole position.
Josh, you're a beast.
Great work, mate.
You're actually a beast.
That
Good
was
job,
a pang
mate.
lap.
Great job.
Oh my god.
All that first sector just completely nailed it, mate.
Yeah.
Nerves of steel! My boy. Come on, let's go and fucking win
Yeah,
this
good
race.
job, lad. That was mega.
Thank you. So that's Nathan and Tobin, you can hear them hyping me up. Shout out to them, the McLaren boys, helping me out on engineering. But yeah, as you can see then, we do take pole position. The only man into the 0.9s, 0.6s. But yeah, it's really close once again. Benz Sabo takes P2 and Alessio Di Capua, who's leading the championship, is in P3. So yeah, looking forward to it. Should be a good one. Let's see what we can do. So jumping straight into it then, no formation lap. 5 red lights come on, and round 3 of the F1 Esports Challengers is underway. And we get a pretty decent start, but we see Bent come in, and we tried to cover off, but he's already there, so we just hold it round the outside, how you maintain the lead, just about. So now we've maintained the lead, and then we just got to focus on trying to pull a gap. We use a lot of ERS here. Something worth noting is that at Zandvoort you pretty much don't gain ERS at all. No matter how much you use, if you don't even use any at all, you won't actually recover. I'm pretty sure you'll either just stay where you are or slightly just go down. So we have to be wary when using our ERS, not to just drain the battery completely, because then the only time we'll gain some back is under the pit stops. So we have to be careful as we use some more. But yeah, that's just something to be wary of. But at the end of lap 1 then, you can see we have a little gap already.
Great job, mate. Alessio's probably going to put Benz under a lot of pressure.
And at this point, I seen the gap we had. Obviously not a massive gap, but I thought we could definitely get this. We just need a really good middle sector and use a bit more ERS, and we should have the second gap that we need. So we're going to push quite hard. You can see it's up to 8-9 tenths already. So at this point, I use some more ERS, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is it. With a good middle sector here, we should be able to get him. So we're going to push really hard now. Coming through this fast right-hander, we almost lose the car, and a little bit of a snap of oversteer there, but we do purple sector 1, and we're going to keep pushing. We're going to make sure not to invalidate. There is a few places where you can run a little bit wide, and get a silly warning or two. But yeah, as you can see now, coming into sector 3, the gap's 9 tenths. We want to use the RS, but we just can't afford to use that much because we'll never get it back. So now, coming into the final corner, we have the second gap that we need. And at this point, I was like, thank God. I think now a lot of pressure's off our shoulders, especially regarding being held in the pits, like you may have seen in Vietnam, where all the cars were too close behind me and I just got held for ages and I got jumped. So yep, starting lap 3 then. DRS is enabled, but it won't matter for us because we have managed to pull the gap. We need to make sure that he doesn't get back in, because you never know, he might be full on ERS. He could just use, 30% and bam, he's straight back in. So we have to be careful of that. We can't be complacent. We need to keep pushing hard to maintain the gap. So coming towards the end of lap 5 now, and we stay out, we're going to keep going, but as you can see, Bent's from P2 pits, so he's going to go for the aggressive undercut. It's probably a bit too early. I'm sure the softs are not too worn at this point, but he's probably going to go on the fresh mediums, use a lot of ERS, and see whether he can
How many
get back
people
into
pit?
DRS.
So just Benz, the Renault.
Just Bent's the Renault. That's a factor. Amoros has pitted too, but he's too far back.
Yeah, so Bent's the only, front runner that's pit so far. So that kind of hints that maybe he was a bit early to pit. But we were planning on reacting this lap.
If I
But
pitted now, would Alessio hold me up? 1.5 gap.
Yeah, he wouldn't hold me up. I was just being a bit paranoid after Vietnam, but
I think I should be fine.
yeah, we were gonna react to him, but I realised my softs are not, they're not too worn. They're not really causing me any issues, although we are obviously down on our lap time by a decent amount. I'm sure the mediums are not going to be much faster. There's not much of an undercut round here, so we're going to keep going,
I'm gonna go one more.
as I say there. And yeah, we're going to push hard,
So
obviously.
Miller pitted too, but got 5 seconds on pit entry. So just be careful.
And yeah, we get warned there not to speed into the pits. So yeah, we're going to push hard and hopefully stay ahead of Bent and maybe even stay out of DRS. So let's see. Coming into the pits then at the end of lap 7, start of lap 8, we get slowed down nicely. And as you can see there, we don't get held at all. Lucky there wasn't another car behind Patrick who pitted, because then we probably would have been held. Because the game likes to hold you a little bit longer after the car's gone ahead in the pit lane. So, yeah. Fine pit stop. We cut the line
Go.
because we were allowed to. And as you can see there, we've managed to stay ahead of Bent, pitting 2 laps later. So, but
Easy work, mate. Well done.
he is actually in DRS, so we got to work to get him back out now. So skipping on to the end of lap 9 then, we have pulled quite a sizable gap to Bent in P2, but now we're starting to catch up to the medium runners who haven't pitted. Luckily, Nicholas Matteo goes into pits there. We probably would have overtaken him anyway, because he didn't have DRS. But yeah, hopefully the 2 medium runners ahead of us won't cause us too much problems. Otherwise, I was about to say Bent, but actually Alessio's overtaken Bent, and now he's into P2, or net P2. We don't want him getting back into the DRS because we can't pass these medium runners, so we need to get past them as quick as possible. And hopefully on the straights, so we don't lose any time while doing it. So skipping towards the end of the lap then, and we've caught up to Calvin, but he comes into the pits, so that's 2 out of 2 cars now that's gone straight into pits when we were trying to overtake them. Kind of lucky, but surely it won't happen a third time.
We need to pay some of this traffic.
Yep, it happened the 3rd time. We have been blessed by the gods there. We've not had to make a single overtake. I'm sure they wouldn't have made it too hard on me, considering the tyre difference. But yeah, still quite fortunate there that we didn't have to make a single overtake. And now, as a result of this, we have a 2.3 second gap to P2, which is kind of ridiculous in a 25% race against drivers that are so fast. So yeah, now in a brilliant position to win this race. We just gotta keep it clean, don't get any penalties, don't spin, and it should be a comfortable victory. So skipping all the way to the end of the race then, sorry I couldn't include anything, but nothing really happened. We just maintained a similar gap to Alessio. We kept it clean, we did what we said we would do, and yeah,
Cracking
we're
job,
gonna come
Josh.
home to take the first
go.
win of our
Well done,
season.
mate. Class of the field. Absolutely smashed him to bits, mate.
Bug.
So as you can see then, we take the win with Alessio and Bent in P2 and 3. Alessio is probably our main championship rival, so him getting P2 isn't brilliant for our championship, but still. CRG Ate, who was second in the championship, finishes P11 then, so we gain a big amount on him. And of course, as I said, Sven Zerner not taking part tonight, so we'll gain a good amount of points on him as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed finally see me win something. But yeah, I'll be back with Austria very soon, as that was the second race. It is going to be a separate video, but it's an interesting race. So I suggest that you watch that as well. But yeah, thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next one.